All right, so we're going to talk very briefly about simple and complex carbs. The reason why this question came up is a client had asked, why is there a certain type of carbohydrate on their meal plan? Could they have it substituted for something else? And I just want to quickly dive into the thought process and the planning and programming behind the nutrition. So, in a nutshell, not every carbohydrate, just like not every food, is created equal. Okay, certain carbohydrates are going to be broken down and digested much faster. Some are going to be digested much slower. In the case of somebody who is overweight or insulin insensitive or has some blood sugar issues, just someone who's overweight or has more fat in general, you want to use more complex carbohydrates or more slower digesting carbohydrates because they induce a slower and lower insulin response. Think about it this way. If I were to just take a pixie stick or a packet of sugar and just chug it, it's so easily digestible. Your body's already digesting it within minutes. So your blood sugar, the sugar amount in your blood, not just because it's sugar, but all carbohydrates break down into sugar itself, that will shoot up very rapidly. And so your body, in response to that, will release insulin so your body can uptake that sugar into the muscles and other and surrounding organs, because you don't want to have high blood sugar in the blood. You also don't want to have low. So why is that important? When you have high blood sugar levels, high amounts of insulin being secreted all the time, you become insulin resistant, which means that your body just needs more insulin. It taxes the organs and becomes a lot harder for your body to utilize those sugars. Okay, that is the insulin sensitivity part. In addition, something that is slower to digest and takes longer to break down, it takes a little bit more energy for your body to do it. So there is an inherent calorie burn with that. It's pretty insignificant, but it's just something to consider. Another thing with that slower breakdown, it slows down the digestion process. So you have food sitting in your stomach longer, which means that you're going to feel a little bit fuller and satiated a little bit longer as well. Within that, complex carbohydrates usually have a little bit higher fiber content. And in addition, they're going to have some higher micronutrients. So I tend to rely on complex carbohydrates for you guys a lot more than simple. Simple is something if I need to refill the gas tank very quickly, right? So our body runs on essentially sugars as fuel for workouts, running, even brain function, whatever. So if your gas tank is empty or getting empty, I'm going to want to spike that blood sugar and get those carbohydrates in there quicker. Now, that doesn't mean that somebody who's overweight or has excessive body fat is going to benefit from that, because I want to pull that energy from their stored body fat. So to bring it all back full circle, this could get a lot more complicated, but essentially at the end of the day, there is going to be a difference between the carbohydrate sources, okay? It's essentially, it comes down to how quickly the sugar can be broken down, how quickly your body responds, and therefore with that response, how the body is affected by higher insulin levels, lower insulin levels, and so on and so forth. Generally, when somebody is dieting, you want to work with more complex carbohydrates, because normally if they're dieting, it's because they have excessive body fat or more body fat that they want, okay? Somebody who's a leaner might be able to use those carbohydrates a little bit more efficiently, but at the same time, I sometimes don't want to give them such simple carbohydrates, so they burn it off quickly and they're already hungry again and they're already out of gas per se. So it all comes to plug and play. Hopefully that's a little bit more of an explanation for you.